Alright, quick, simple, and easy. Map update. Our next trip starts right now. Before we get to the shipper, we need to put fuel in this reefer, which we'll do down the road, and the trailer washout. on, give me my light. Do-da, do-da, do-da-do-da-do, do-do-da-da, do-da. Right, another trip in the history. I like quick and easy dropping ups. Down in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 20 miles or whatever it is, south of us. We're going to get a trailer washer. Hopefully it ain't going to be a 8-hour wait. You never know. It is middle of the day, but it is a good little weekend. In fact, one time we even got the tractor washed. Got the trailer washed and the tractor. And the guy did, oh, I don't know, an okay job. What do you expect? So we parked at the truck stop in the same parking lot as that Blue Beacon. And I seen this Blue Beacon guy walking around the parking lot of the truck stop, looking around. And he noticed that our truck was all wet and shiny and clean and stuff like that. And he knocked on the door and he says, "Did you just go through our Blue Beacon truck wash?" And I says, "Yes, about half an hour ago." And he says, can I look your tractor over? Doing a quality check. And I said, okay, sure. So he went around and I saw him writing stuff down, and he says, we did a good job, but I would like to see them do a lot better. There were a few spaces that should have been done that they didn't do. Do you have time to go through the truck wash again free of charge? And we'll make it better, plus give you a free wax job. And I says, that's okay, only because there's like 3 parking spots left, and by the time I got out of there, I wouldn't have a place to park. But, like I said, it was a decent job, but then on the other hand, I thought it was kind of cool that the manager would go walking around the truck stop doing a quality check. I thought that was pretty nice. Never seen that before. Down at the shipper in Champaign, Illinois, our next load is ready, preloaded and ready and waiting on us. Cop in the middle, cop in the middle, cop in the middle. trying to remember what exit the pilot was at. Even though it's a fake pilot. We just need their dropped a boat. Alright, where's this pilot at? I forgot, somewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow is a trailer washout. pilot, but I don't know if it's A or B. Dang that. I'll go with this one. I don't know, we'll see. I'm wrong. Dang nabbit. I should have gone the other way, but if you don't know, and they don't tell you, they just have a gas symbol, and both A and B had a gas. So now I wonder where I can turn around. I don't see an access ramp here. I do like when states, cities, whoever does it, puts the names on before the exit, what's on that exit. That's when they just put a gas symbol, and there's gas at both exits. How am I supposed to know? Yeah, here's the stop sign. turn around. We're just giving you the country tour today. Is that all right? Country tour. Probably could have turned around in that big old lot. Thing is, you don't know until you get right on top of it, and then by then it's too late to set it for a turn. Here's the truck stop. We'll do a U-E. Truck stop out here in the middle of nowhere. And I was just about to give up. And that light is going to be fixed. Because I think it's a relay. See, here it fixed itself now. I love when people dump trash in parking lots. Yay, let's create a big dust storm. A haboob! Alright. We'll be back on track in a second. Y'all don't mind that extended tour, do you? Through the countryside. Yeah, my turn. We were just taking the truck for an extra stretch of the legs. How about that? You know, after having sat for 4 days in one spot. Whales on the Titanic. Dang me. Oh, dang me. Dang me, dang me, dang me, dang me. Now, if we go straight across here, we should run into the truck stop. I don't know why they make it so squirrely to get in there. There's the truck stop. So we go straight to the light and then take a right. I'm a poet, didn't even know it. Ah! Straight to the light, then take a right. Hopefully there's not a long line. Hey, look at this, twin tow trucks. You know you're in trouble when you need twin tow trucks. Coming up on the right here. Pretty nice looking tow trucks. I think we should drive one of those. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of a wait. Probably not much, but we're going to have a little bit of wait. This will count as our half-hour break. We can eat a sandwich while we wait. The line's not too long. They got 2 bays here, I think. No, just 1 bay. Bummer. We gotta do it, and the load's already 2 days late, so I guess it don't really matter all that much. Alright, so we're waiting in line at the trailer wash. We're going to take a half-hour break. We're going to keep the camera going if y'all want to talk to each other or talk to me. Well, I was going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I do not have any bread with me. So, I guess, what do I got? So I guess I'll have to eat Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts for lunch. 7 ounce. Oh. Pop-Tarts for lunch. Supposed to buy bread. Forgot. Chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts. And cold coffee. Peanut butter on pancakes? No. Catch up with my paperwork. How do I feel about being sent one way to pick up a load, only to turn around and the opposite? I don't know, don't matter to me. I mean, you got to go where the customers are. You can't like just say, well, we just came from there, I don't want to go back. Well, you got to go where the customers are. That's what we do, is bounce back and forth. Hopefully, these guys don't take too long, but they'll take as long as they need to, and that's just part of doing business. Well, there might be another driver in the Champaign area. But what if that driver already got a load out of there? You know, and he's off heading in a different direction. Or what if another driver going there isn't there yet? You know, it's... You figure with every customer across the country that has a warehouse, There's no way in the world that there could be a driver in every single city at every single location across the country. No way in the world. Even with all the trucks out there and all the trucking companies, we're all running around like a bunch of rabbits and squirrels. There's no way that it's, you know, a driver could be at every place all the time. This guy definitely sounds like Sparks. Sparks used to ask that same question over and over as well. But it is what it is. I mean, that's where the planners come in. That's where the customer service comes in. It's all up to them to figure out what to do. I simply just drive where they tell me to go. I don't get paid to be a planner. All I do is plan my own trips. And, I mean, like this load here. It should have been picked up and delivered on the 28th. 2 days ago. But, if there's no drivers, there's no drivers. A lot of companies will sign up, say Prime takes, you know, a customer says, I want Prime to pick up this load. If Prime doesn't get there within 24 hours, they will go to another.
How are you today?
Good.
We're out here just to let you guys know that there's a non-standard potato washout in the bin. We're trying to get it done as quick as possible for you guys.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
There's I forgot what I was going to say. So if a company isn't there within 24 hours, they will quite often pick another company to see if they can take that load. So when a load is late 2 days, there's probably not any trucker of any company available to take that, especially over the holidays. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't get paid to figure out their mess. One of the problems that there are no drivers. A couple of things. One, there's more and more freight. You know, people ordering stuff online instead of going to the store and whatnot. Well, even then, I mean, just a bigger population, more stores open up, more warehouses open up, more people to consume more products. You know, both food and electronics and all this other stuff. That means bigger warehouses, more warehouses. There generally is not a big push for truck drivers. And a lot of times these kids will come in, start being a truck driver, and find out it's not an easy life. You're on the road 30 days or whatever, more at a time. Half the customers hate truck drivers. They're rude and obnoxious and yell at you for doing nothing wrong. I even myself have a hard time with that. I hate showing up, busting my butt to get somewhere, make a delivery on time, show up half an hour late or whatever because of accident, weather, whatever, and then I get chewed out by, you know, the delivery or whatever. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So a lot of people don't put up with that. Then, of course, trucking companies don't want to pay. Don't want to pay the drivers. Or pay them really, really, really low. And so if companies aren't willing to pay and just it's a tough life. It really is. If you got a family and a wife and the kids and the, you know, house and all this other stuff, for you to be gone all that time, that would be rough on the home front as well. So being a truck driver is just not a lucrative job for most people. If you love driving like I do and you make it work in your favor, then truck driving's good. But most people can't live that type of life. So that's kind of like a long explanation, but that's it in a nutshell. And then, of course, all these government rules, and you hear me talk about how many clocks I have to follow, and that hinders things quite a bit. I personally think 14 hours a day, 11 hours a day, 70 hours a week is more than enough to expect one person to drive a truck. There's some truck drivers that are super truck drivers and disagree. They feel that you should be able to drive 100 hours a week, you know, and I'm not part of that camp. I think working 2 full-time jobs is more than enough. So I don't know. There's a whole bunch to it. Did I have a nice Memorial Day? I absolutely did. By the way, we have, I don't know, I think it's June 7th or something like that. Next week, week and a half, we have the nationwide truck driver blitz, where every weigh station everywhere in every state will be wide open, running everybody through the scales. That's where all the states and all the Department of Transportations all try to inspect as many trucks and people and drivers and logbooks and everything that they possibly can. And I don't know. For the last numerous years, we've been pretty lucky and not been picked on. But you never know. I mean, obviously they can't get every truck out there, but they put a good dent in them, and then, I don't know, a month or two later they come out with the results of nationwide, how many trucks were put out of service, how many drivers were put out of service. The number one issue that they find, which year after year is always tires, tires and brakes. And it used to be logbooks, but now that everybody's supposed to be on electronic logs, I don't think that's going to be an issue. If it is, I think the problem is going to be they're going to find the drivers who, oh, I forgot, I don't have electronic logs, and then that's going to get them in trouble. M.A. Sudi, you're exactly right. I remember talking to this lady, years ago when I first started. She was upset and she didn't like truck drivers, and she had no problem telling me what she thought of me as a truck driver. Not personally, but... And she was saying that truck drivers just take up room and ruin the roads and don't need to exist and all this other stuff. And we came up with, well, if we didn't have trucks, you wouldn't have anything. Oh, yes, I would. I would just go to the store and get it. And it's like, okay, so how do you think stuff gets to the store? Well, I don't know. It's always on the shelf. Yeah, but it came from the factory to the store and put on your shelf. Well, I don't ever see that. I just go to the store. And then that tells you the type of mentality most people have towards truckers. They don't like truckers. But by golly, you're not going to live, very long without them. I do think that if people, TV stations or whatever, actually had PSAs, public service announcements about truck driving, maybe give tips about how to drive safe around a truck or whatever. Even with this website, I've gotten many emails over the years where people tell me that since they've watched Big Rig Travels and we have our little talks and they see me drive and the hours I drive and whatnot, they have a completely new outlook for truck drivers and truck driving. They had no earthly clue what it was like. So I think actually we are doing pretty good in our own little way. Believe it or not, my biggest frustration is parking. Rest areas, how many times we drive by rest areas and you see the trucks lined up on the ramps on both ways, going in and going out, or rest areas closed, or truck stops are full. There's just more and more trucks getting on the road, and truck parking is not keeping up with it. Truck drivers used to be able to park at Walmart, since they have big lots and all that stuff. But you have truck drivers that trash the place, back over things and destroy equipment and all that. So we truck drivers as a whole shoot ourselves in the foot by not taking care of the property that people let us do park on. How y'all doing? In fact, we were on 2 years ago. We were driving on Interstate 71 South in Ohio, and I was passing by the rest areas, where there's a rest area on the left and a rest area on the right, and it was just jam-packed. And the radio station I was listening to was actually doing an interview with, the Department of Transportation for Ohio about all the rest areas being full. And the guy says, yes, truck driving has increased by 20% through Ohio highways every year or every other year or whatever. And the rest areas are a problem. There isn't enough parking and all that other stuff. So the lady doing the interview asked, well, do you guys plan on making more rest areas or specific truck parking and all that stuff? And plain as day, the guy, the Department of Transportation guy says, no, there are no plans to increase parking. That is not our problem. The trucks do not belong to us. We are not making more parking spaces. That's the type of mentality that's putting a hurt on the trucking industry. Nobody wants to help the truck driver or help ease the trucking problems because it's not their area or their problem. Truck drivers come and go, so they don't have to deal with it. All right, so nobody wants to take responsibility. Nobody wants to help, so they just add to the problems. Y'all got me on my soapbox. There's quite a few places that truck stops could expand truck parking, but the thing is, the truck stop doesn't want to spend the money. You know, these are private businesses. Well, you know, they're businesses, and they don't have to. If they don't have to spend the money for a bigger truck stop or more parking, they don't have to. And you know, sitting here in line, so what if we gotta wait? It's part of the job. Whether we're sitting in a dock door or sitting in line here, that's, you know, I mean, that's just part of life. BigRigTravels brought to you by the following. Pete Tubbs, how you doing? I heard it's your 103rd birthday today. Scott Richardson, how you guys doing? Rex Hood, Vista Light, how you doing? Lionel. JD, Z. How you doing, Juan? Neff, how you doing? Scott. Fabia. A lot of the super truckers holler and scream we all should go on strike and blah 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 blah. For one, that'll never happen. Number two, if it were to happen, the government would just step in and take over and all this other stuff, and then things will be a lot worse. But that sticks to the politics side of it, and we won't go there, but that just won't work the way people think that it would. Yeah. Speed tubs, speed tubs. Glad you're having a good birthday. Glad you got your AC fixed in your car. Richard, how you doing? What does it cost to wash out? 31 bucks. 31.50 something. I wish we would like move forward and get out of the sun. Company has a charge account here, so that's why we go here. Speaking of which, I got some paperwork that I never got done. Like the $180 in fuel. I love pens that quit writing when you need them the most. Oh, bend down on the floor. What's that whirligig noise? That's my Pop-Tart maker. Okay. Update now. Why is there always updates every time I try to do this? Put this there, put this here, put that up there. Now, paperwork.